I've always tried to connect modern culture, pop culture with our faith. I knew the Beatles documentary was coming out this fall and thought, well, that might be a good way to connect people with something that's actually happening in culture and with what's going on in the life of the church. So we're doing a series entitled A Very Beatles Christmas, and what we decided to do was choose some Beatles songs that went along with some Advent-oriented themes. We began with Here Comes the Sun, and we used the text from Isaiah, people walking in darkness. And when George Harrison wrote the song, he was going through a really difficult time in his life. And so we felt like that would be a great theme, because Christmas isn't always an exciting time for everybody. A lot of folks are dealing with a lot of struggles in their lives during this time of year. And so the theme that we focused on was hope, and how the coming of Christmas brings hope to our lives. To the long, winding road. When we first came up with a series and began to promote it, we didn't know what to expect. We thought there might be quite a bit of criticism, but turns out we were absolutely wrong. Our folks who are in their 80s were in their 20s when the Beatles came out, and they love Beatles music. And our young folks who have discovered the Beatles in the last few years love Beatles music. So it's been really great. We've done it in both our contemporary and our traditional service. We've gotten our choir involved. So I was part of the Reynolds Leadership Program back in the early 2000s, and we visited a number of churches around the country, and it really exposed me to a lot of different ways that churches and that leaders in churches were helping to connect people's faith with their everyday lives. And so that really became a driving force. So we're going to do a worship series in February called The Gospel According to Ted Lasso. We're going to take some of the humorous statements that he makes, but also profound statements that he makes in the show, and develop sermons around that. So I was in a restaurant downtown last weekend, and I had a gentleman that walked up to me, and I guess he had recognized me. He had been watching our online services, and he said, "I just wanted to tell you how much I love the Beatles series, and how much I've loved your online worship over the last year and a half, watching you in the pandemic, and it really connects with my life." He said, "I'm not really a church goer, but a friend shared this link with me, and I've just thoroughly enjoyed it." And so he thanked me for us being willing to step outside the box and do something like this. It's all right.
At the United Methodist Foundation of Western North Carolina, our stories are your stories. Thank you for your partnership, as together we strengthen God's kingdom through the faithful stewardship of our God-given resources and build the church for generations to come.